I want to talk about what Paul wrote in Philippians chapter 3. And I touched on it briefly in the last couple of videos. But Paul says, "Let us therefore, as many as be mature, full age, be thus minded." And if in anything you be otherwise minded, God shall reveal even this unto you. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule, let us mind the same things. Whereto we have already attained. He's talking about we're talking about the faith and our conscience, and not walking outside of our faith that violate our conscience or will defile our conscience. As the Apostle Peter said in 1 Peter 3:21, that is not so much of the washing away of the filth of the flesh in water baptism, but the answer of a clear conscience towards God. And it's so important for us to see walking within the bounds of the faith, as he says, "Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule, let us mind the same things." And that's the King James. The Christian Standard says, let me see. The Christian Standards puts it like this: "Therefore let all of us who are mature think this way. And if you think differently about anything, God will reveal this also unto you. In any case, we should live up to whatever truth we have attained. Join in imitating me, brothers and sisters, and pay careful attention to those who live according to the example you have in us." And let's go to 1 John chapter 3. Because the Apostle John is saying, "Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knows us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that has this hope in him purifies himself even as he is pure." And I'm going to stop it right there and go back to what he was talking about. Whereunto we attain, whatever truth we have attained to, where our faith is, let us walk by that standard of faith, the measure of faith that we have grown or attained into. And it's all about faith. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin, as Paul said in Romans 14:23. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin, as he said in 22. Blessed is the one who is not condemned in that thing which he approves or allows. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. And this is what he's talking about here. Every man that has this hope in himself, having our body transformed to be like Jesus. And I tell you the truth, as Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15:36, the body we sow is not given life unless it dies. This is the beginning of our spiritual worship, is putting the flesh to death every day and walking by the faith that Christ lives in us. And we grow, and as he says in Romans chapter 1 verses 16 and 17, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for therein is the power of God to deliver and heal. He's talking about being healed from the wound of sin that the first man Adam sold man under. He says, for the righteousness of God therein is revealed in the gospel. From faith unto faith, it is written, the just shall live by faith. So, whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Let us not walk outside the bounds of the faith, the measure of faith that we have, and let those who are, like Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, you who are strong in the faith, don't put stumbling blocks in front of those that are weak in the faith. And I'm going to end it there. Amen.